Hello, Lori.
Hey, Dory. Well, we're having a really cool guest today. So I'd like to talk about him just a little bit because we haven't had anybody on our show talking about finances or money or anything like that. So I think that this is going to be really great. I hope it's not over anybody's head. If there's any questions, you can always send those to us or to Steve, because he would be a great person to answer those questions.
Yeah, he's super great. And I've known him for a really long time. He started helping me out shortly after I got divorced. It was around 2006. So I had my money. It was still in the stock market.
Yeah.
And in 2008, it just totally crashed.
Yeah.
And I freaked out and took the money out like an idiot.
That's what I had to.
People do. Yeah. But, I should have left it in there and let it do its thing. But I was just like, I'm done with the market. I lost, over $100,000.
Yep, me too.
Pulled it out. Yeah. Eventually started having Steve help me. And so I was really grateful that I had got to know him. And he really helped me a lot. He's pretty dynamic. He's fun. And he's really good looking. He looks like Superman.
Well, it's a great interview, and I think it's full of a lot of information. And I hope that you take a listen and that you learn a lot. And I always learn a lot from these interviews. So I'm excited.
Yep.
And he has a great book offer, really generous. And he's got a great book for women. And I just love it. Yep. So I'm excited for this interview. It'll be good.
Lots of books on Amazon. And you can look him up. His name's Steve, or Stephen, Stephen, Gardner, Gardner.
Perfect.
All right.
All right. Let's listen.
Here we go.
You're listening to Fit and Hippie with Dory and Lori. The show is about the show that covers the show that gets into
Exactly. Hey there.
Hello. We're here again.
We are back in the studio with a friend of ours. His name is Stephen Gardner.
Yes.
And I've known Steve for a while. He has helped me with some of my investments over, how many years, Steve? 15?
Probably
10? 15?
more than 10.
Yeah, more than 10.
That's cool.
And he's also, well, you know what? Why don't we let Steve tell us who he is?
Yeah.
Let's do that. So, Mr. Gardner, would you mind telling us who you are?
I hate that question. When I'm not Superman.
That's right. That's what I call him. He does look like Clark Kent.
Totally
does he not?
Clark Kent. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing specialized retirement planning for. Let's see. I got into the industry in 2003. Then I took a break and got back in about 12 years ago. And in the last 5 or 6 years, I started releasing books because it was easier for me to share my thoughts and ideas through the written word than to have individual conversations with people. Yeah, for sure. It was also, I think, better for the person because they could sit down in their favorite chair and consume the information.
Again and again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was, especially when you're dealing with math, you have to maybe, let your mind soak it up for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so I now have 7 books. My most popular one is Taming Wall Street. Yep. Where I show people how to grow their money the way that my wealthy clients do. Most of my clients are business owners or physicians, doctors of some kind. And I show them a safer way to grow their money. Mm-hmm. And
love that.
I've seen good deals and I've seen bad deals. I've lost money myself. Mm-hmm. And I've had deals that did tremendously well to the point where I had people involved think this is the best thing since sliced bread. Yeah. So I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly of doing money. And because of that, I have chosen to go the safer route. Mm-hmm. Maybe I don't have the personality for it, or I just don't like the idea of going backwards.
Yeah, most people like the safer route.
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, when they think the safer route, their brain immediately goes to banks. And like right now, we're here in Utah. The best credit union in Utah managing billions and billions and billions of dollars, the best they're able to do is give you 0.1% on your money.
Which is
Yeah, I've
so
looked around.
crazy.
Unless you do a money market, and even that, I think right now is currently like 2.94 or something. It's like this,
and then they
or
want
less,
you to, they want you to tie your money up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, wait a minute, I don't know what the economy is going to be in 5 years, so I'm not
Right.
locking my money at 2%. And so I've gone the safer route, but I've also gone the smarter route. And so what Taming Wall Street covers is how to be in control of your own money. And it comes down to Austrian economics, which they believed that you could do more with your money than you could if you outsourced it to somebody.
Yeah.
But we've outsourced all of that financial education.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so from kindergarten all the way up to, I went and graduated from the David Eccles School of Business at the University of Utah. And unless you purposely signed up for like advanced finance courses, you got no financial education.
Yeah, why is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Nobody gets it, and
No.
you should have that.
Well, I think some of it comes down to here in America, we live in a broken education system. They're
Yeah,
still
for
trying to produce people that are afraid of making mistakes, that show up on time, that do their work, and then they go home.
Good
they're-
employees.
Yeah, they want workers. They're not training people to become entrepreneurs or to become investors or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
I mean, even if you're going in to become a doctor or whatever, you're going to train to become, work for your hourly wage,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So the brilliant part about it is that once you start building up this pool of capital, you have access to that pool of capital. And with the right financial education towards being your own source of debt, being your own, going out and buying real estate, you can do all of those things. But unless you have the access to capital, when opportunity knocks, it's those that have money and knowledge and courage that move forward on that. And so the book goes through, and there's other great books out there. I've read them all probably a dozen times and been doing this with my own money for about 12 years now and have clients all over the country. But what I try to capture in Taming Wall Street is real life examples. So there's over a dozen real life examples where I walk people through their own math on car purchases and on real estate purchases, RVs, vacations, starting a business. In fact, just this morning, I talked to a client, and he got involved with this program about 7 years ago. And 5 years into the program, he calls me and he says, okay, I need a reminder of why I bought this plan. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. So we walked through everything because he was getting ready to buy a car. And I share this in Taming Wall Street.
Okay.
His name's Dustin, and I just happened to speak with him this morning because he now has 2 plans with me. And just a couple years ago, so we walked him through the math on buying this car. And instead of sending all that money to the bank, he sends it back to himself. And when you do it the way that I mentor people, the end result is you end up with more money.
Cool.
It's like a terrible problem to have.
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
so do you have to start out with a lot of money to begin, or
No.
can the average person that?
So if we're talking the average Joe, I would take your age times 10, and that's what we need to put away every month.
Oh dear.
So that's just
Okay.
there's not like a set answer, but like if somebody is 35. They should probably be able to save $350.
Yeah,
a month,
yeah.
right.
That should be okay.
So, but most of my clients do more than that. But that's just kind of
That's a beginning base.
a beginning base,
Get
right?
things
And
going.
I have people that do lower, but I have one guy who does $250,000 a year, and he makes really good money.
Well,
And-
anything's better than nothing, right?
Yes, yeah. And so with this guy, we walk him through the numbers, and he ends up going and buying this car. And then instead of taking the money out of his pocket and giving it to the bank, he takes the money out of his pocket and sticks it in his other pocket. So he puts that money back in his future retirement account. Right?
How do you do that?
So
I'm like, are you wondering? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sitting here,
yeah.
I'm like, okay, And so this is what I love about, like, if this is how the book is and you're walking people through it, because when you're just saying it, if you just left it at that, I'd be going, oh, how he's taking the money from one pocket and sticking it in the other pocket.
I assume you're taking it out of your savings, paying for the car, and then paying it back?
Yeah, it sounds like robbing Peter to pay Paul, that old saying. But everything that I share is legal. With these specialized insurance contracts that we set up, they're the only financial product on the planet that I know of, and I've researched a lot, but they're the only one that allows you to use your money and earn interest as if that money were never gone.
Yeah.
But it has to be
I've
in
actually
an
heard of
insurance
this
plan?
before.
But it has
This
to
is
be
awesome.
inside of these contracts, correct?
Okay.
Is it a life insurance?
So it's a specially designed life insurance. We build it to be like a Roth IRA on steroids.
Yeah,
In fact,
love
Tony
that.
Robbins in his book says that the wealthy call these the rich man's Roth.
Yeah.
And so, just as an example, let's say you have $100,000 and it's earning 5%. Then I can borrow, $25,000 out and go buy a car. And they are going to charge me interest, but it's going to keep earning interest as if the money were never gone. So what they do is they use your money as collateral and they lend you the company's money.
Cool.
So it's a no-risk loan to them because, number one, they already have your money.
Yeah.
And number two, if you die, they just take it out of your death benefit.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it's a zero-risk loan to them, and they just picked up another stream of guaranteed income to them. Right? So it's really brilliant on the insurance company side. So, but then... you guys have cars. I saw them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
When you make that payment, whatever the payment is, 200, 500,000, whatever it is, when you hand that over to the bank teller, do you ever get to see or use that money again?
No.
No, right? With me, I put it in. I have access to that money within like 2 weeks.
That
I can
is
use
awesome.
it again. So it's like a combination of a really cool HELOC. It's a combination of a really cool Roth IRA. It's just a really cool plan.
And
but
it's
they
liquid.
have to be. It's liquid, yeah. And it does have to be built in a very specific manner. Okay. So some other benefits that my wealthier clients like is in the tax code. The IRS has blessed this product that any money that grows inside of that, you will never pay tax on that money again.
That grows inside of it.
That grows inside of it, yeah. And so for my clients that are paying 30, 40, 50% tax, to put money away that won't be taxed in the future is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you have to wait till you retire to take it out?
No.
So it grows to a certain maturity, whatever it is, 10, 20, 30 years, however you set it up?
Yeah. Usually I can get them to, after fees, there is a little bit of because of the death benefit, right? If you die, the insurance company's out a bunch of money.
Sure.
Yeah.
So usually I can get them to break even around 7 years.
Wow.
But you have access to that money. So, for example, let's say I'm doing $10,000 a year, right? 5 years from now, I'm going to probably have $45,000 that I could do whatever I want with. Plus, I'm going to have like $600,000 in death benefit if I die.
Wow. Yeah.
So then I can take that money out and I can go buy a rental property, or I can do a hard money loan, which I like doing. Or you can.
Okay, what's a hard money loan?
So a hard money loan is. So there's in finance, there's other people's money, OPM. You're the other person.
Right.
Okay.
So if I wanted to go, say we wanted that triplex that we were looking for, had I known that Steve had access to hard money, I would have called him because he would have been the hard money.
And then we pay interest on that money.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and you're typically going to pay a higher rate, and then the person's going to want to be backed on title or something like that. Yeah. So I'll give you an example. A couple years ago, I did one with a real estate agent here in Utah, and it paid, I think, 10 or 12%. I can't remember because it's been a couple of years. But the client and I, we were on title, and then he made a payment back to us each month, and some went to the client, and the rest went into my life insurance contract, my portion. And then when it was done, I got my full principal back, and then I just put it back into my plan, right?
Wow.
But what it allowed me to do was earn 5 or 6% internally, and then 10 to 12% externally.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so we use, my wife and I use that to our advantage on a local real estate deal.
Awesome.
So they're guaranteed to never lose any money. And they're backed by these, mega insurance companies that have been in business for over 100 years. And